Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku became Venom Part 1. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see Part 2, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story D Harper from fanfiction. So let's start the video. Prologue. Welcome everybody to my new story, In My Veins. This is the thing. Some days ago, I uploaded a chapter of another story, Will of Fire, asking if they would like to see a Venom Izuku story. And the reception was really positive to the idea. So here we are. The most important things that you should know are this. There might appear more symbiotes. Izuku will be an anti-hero or vigilante. The pairing is still undecided and all suggestions are welcome. The only condition, it must be a girl from the BNHA universe. This story will be based in all the versions of Eddie Brock's Venom movies, comics, cartoons, etc. and combined with my own origin story. Izuku won't get the OFA, and I think that is the most important things to check. So, let's go to the story. Legend. Talking. Thinking. Symbiote mentally talking. Prologue. Attachment. Izuku Midoriya was walking back home looking to the floor. During all his 15 years of life, he was deemed as useless. Why? Because he is quirkless. You see, years ago, powers started to develop in people, the first one being a shining baby in China. Then more and more people started to develop these powers that became called quirks. 80% of the world population has these quirks. The other 20% simply doesn't. These group are deemed as quirkless. Not only powers appeared, also new threats and a new justice system. What before was only possible in movies and in comic books became a reality. Heroes and villains appeared. Any crime that a person might commit, classify as a villain. From stealing candy from a baby to murder. In the case of a heroes, it is a job. You need to go to college and graduate to become a hero. If you use your quirk without a hero license, you are a villain. Just like that. But because Izuku didn't have a quirk, becoming a hero, accomplishing his dream, was impossible. Everyone told him that. Everyone laughed at him for wanting to be a hero without a quirk. But he clung to his dream, no matter what. Until he met him. His idol, his favorite hero, the #1 hero, All Might. He still has the talk he had with him clear in his mind. It is not bad to dream, but you need to dream realistically. Being a hero is a dangerous job. If you want to help people, you can always become a police officer. Izuku could feel the tears welling up in his eyes as he clenched his fists. I'm truly worthless, he muttered. He wasn't strong. He was smart, but not that much. His look is average. And he is shy and awkward with other people. Maybe I should take Kachin's advice. He muttered one more time as he whipped the tears from his eyes with his sleeve. In his depressed state, he didn't notice the truck that was going to his direction at high speed. Asterisk at the truck. Minutes before asterisk. Any idea what are we carrying? Asked the driver to his partner that shook his head. Not a clue. I think that it is some sort of bacteria or virus. Really? I saw the thing, and it was creepy as hell. It was some black goo or some shit like that. Then why is it frozen? I don't know, man. I'm just telling you what I saw, and is it supposed to do that? The driver asked as he saw that a red light in the control panel was blinking. His partner touched the light bulb to see if it stopped, but it didn't. Huh. Weird. He grabbed the radio. Hey, here truck 107. We got a light blinking that we are not informed what it means. Over. What color is the light? Over. Aim, red. Is it something bad or ag? He didn't manage to finish, due to a black tendril busting from the back of the truck and wrapping around his neck and started to choke him. Truck 107, what's going on? Another black tendril was shot. This time towards the driver that tried to fight off it, and by doing that, losing control of the vehicle. The driver then noticed that they were heading towards a green-haired kid. He quickly grabbed the wheel and tried to control the truck again. *Izuku *Izuku. Listening a loud sound, he turned his head to see a truck pass by his side, and then crush to a brick wall. There weren't people on the street, so no one else besides him saw the crush. He slowly started to go to the now smoking vehicle. Hello. Are you okay? He asked shakily. Maybe there were some villains running away from the police after robbing a bank. But there aren't any sirens, so maybe they are only drunk people. But it seems like a truck from some sort of institution, so they can't be drunk if they are. He didn't notice when he started to mumble about the possibilities of why the truck could have crushed. Neither did he notice when a black goo came from the window and started to crawl to him. Izuku stopped his mumbling when he felt a tug at his pants. He looked down to see what it was and saw that it was some sort of goo. He tried to grab it and throw it away, but it went through his fingers and started to climb his body. Izuku fell backwards and tried to scream as the black goo kept climbing, but it jumped to his mouth, preventing the action. Don't worry. This will be over soon. Izuku heard that and looked around but saw nothing. He felt the weird substance getting into him, running across his veins. Before he noticed it, the goo was gone. He stood up in shaky legs, still shocked from what happened seconds ago. Did I imagine it? He asked to himself, and hear that some people were coming from the building the truck crashed. Run. What? Who said that? Run now. Before he could register it, his legs started to run faster than he ever ran before. He ran into an alley and felt that he wasn't controlling his own body. He wanted to stop, but he kept on running. He grabbed into the alley walls and surprisingly, he stopped. What happened back there? He asked to himself. That was us, Izuku. He heard the same voice again. Looking around, he didn't saw anyone. I am not around you. I am inside you. What? Izuku asked, maybe too loudly, and he heard a groan. You are too loud. You remember that black goo thing? That was me. And now it is us. I don't get it. Izuku asked, confused. What is this? Is this his imagination? Is he hallucinating due to the desperation? I am real. You are not imagining this. Look, let me show you. Before he could register, he raised his arm, and from there, he shot some kind of black substance that got stuck with the railing of the roof of a building. Then this thing dragged him up all the way to the rooftop. His other arm moved to grab on the railing and jump over it and land on his feet. Izuku stared with awe and shock to his arms, wondering what happened. Now he isn't dreaming. This actually happened. Was this a quirk? No, he doesn't have a quirk. So what was that? I already told you. It was us. I gave you the power. Don't you like it? The power to prove everyone wrong. Izuku liked it. He could feel it. The power roaming across his veins. He felt himself smirking. With this power, he can show to everyone what he is worth of. He can crush everyone that ever doubt him. 𝐒𝐭𝐲, his classmates, All Might, his Momo. No. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to crush anyone. That wasn't like him at all. It is like you. You hate the people that doubted you. The people that harmed you. The people that destroyed your dreams. Our dream. Oh, our dream? Izuku asked. What was this thing talking about? Yes, it isn't me anymore. It is us. Whatever you want, I want it too. So, it means that whatever I want, you want it too. And we want to kill. What? No, I don't want that. Stop saying that kind of stuff. I want to go home, Izuku screamed. He didn't like this. This was weird. How can one day go so wrong? Fine. Maybe a good night of sleep might help us. We both had a difficult day. Maybe tomorrow we might kill 𝐒𝐭𝐲. Just as he finished hearing that, both his arm and legs were covered in the black substance from before. He lost control of his body and jumped from the building. But he didn't scream. He didn't felt fear. He felt alive. His arms moved again, and from there, he threw some sort of black web just like before, and he started to swing across the city until he reached his home. The window was open and Izuku got in without any trouble. His mom was out this night, so there is no problem there. Hey, that was awesome. How can I do that kind of stuff? Izuku asked the other being that laughed. My first host in Earth had powers and gadgets that I copy and molded for using in the future. His name was Peter Parker. In Earth? What's that supposed to mean? Izuku asked, confused on what the other meant. All at it time, Izuku. Now go to sleep. Tomorrow we will talk again. Izuku nodded and was getting under the cover. He took off his clothes and was getting ready to sleep. Hey, do you have a name? Izuku asked. No. But my other hosts usually called me Venom. And done. That was the prologue of In My Veins. Hope that you enjoyed it. I want you guys to remember, this is my own version of Venom. So if you don't find it the same as the comics or movies, don't burn me. And that's all. Remember to leave your review, that it helps my motivation. PM me for any doubt or suggestion. Follow and favorite the story in me. Till next time. Roy D. Harper. Next chapter. Freedom Chapter 1. I'm back. Welcome everybody to the first chapter of In My Veins. In this one, we're going to see more influence of the symbiote on Izuku. Also, I reduced all the options of the pairing into 4. That is the following: Mina, Momo, Toga, Mei. The poll is open for a short time. You can vote by leaving it on the review section or simply PM me. Also, in this one, we are going to know more about the symbiote origin. And now, let's go to the story. Legend. Talking. Thinking. Symbiote talking in Izuku's mind. Chapter 1. Freedom. Izuku, wake up, honey. Izuku opened his eyes after hearing his mother scream. He slowly rose from his bed and sat down on it. He rubbed his eyes, and as he recalled the events of yesterday, the whole day seemed so surreal that it felt like a dream. A dream? Yes, that must be. It is impossible that anything like that ever happened to him in one for the last time. I am real. He heard in his head as he let out a short yelp. So everything that happened yesterday. Real. The voice affirmed, and Izuku felt about to pass out. Come on. It isn't so bad to share a body. I have done it for centuries. About that. Yesterday you say something about you being from another planet or something. What was that about? Izuku asked. I said that because it is true. I am from a race called 𝗏𝗏 that to survive we attach to a host to grow stronger. Once done that, we acquire the feelings, memories, ideals and abilities from our host. The voice explained, and Izuku nodded. I see. Then why did you choose me? I don't have anything special. I was in a situation where I couldn't be picky. I have been in the earth since the dawn of what you called quirks. I was even with one of the first heroes. But he rejected me. Since then, I had passed from host to host, learning and adapting, until I was captured. See captured? Izuku asked as the door of his room opened, revealing his mother. Izuku, with who are you talking to? 𝐒𝐭𝐞 asked, and Izuku shook his head. With no one, Mom. I'll be down in a while. Izuku reassured her. 𝐒𝐭𝐞 smiled and nodded as she left and closed the door. Izuku let out a sigh of relief. That was close. Yeah, we can always kill her if she suspects too much. What? Calm down. Now let's go to school. I have the feeling it is going a great day for us. After said that, the black substance came out and covered Izuku's body, and it slowly mimicked Izuku's school uniform. Wow. Impressive, is it? This is only the tip of the iceberg of our power. Now let's go. I want to talk with you about something important. Izuku nodded and was going to reach for his backpack when a black web was shot from his arm, retrieving the object. Izuku stared at his backpack that was now at his hand. He smiled as he strapped it to his back and left his house. Streets. So, what you wanted to talk about? Venom. Izuku asked as he was walking towards his school. First of all, I am not Venom. We are Venom. And I wanted to talk about one enemy of ours. Izuku decided to ask later what he meant by we are Venom, and decided to pass to the more worrying part. Enemy, Izuku screamed, and people at the street turned to him. Yes, it is about who captured me. It is an organization called Life Foundation. They want to learn more about me and my race for some reason. And we can't get captured by them. Why? Izuku asked shakily. He isn't liking the sound of this. Because they will kill you and experiment on me. Izuku stopped at the entrance of his school after hearing that. What? Many students stopped and wondered what happened to Deku, or that green-haired kid, for him to scream like that. Izuku noticed what he did and blushed and looked down. Calm down. We won't get captured by those monkeys. We are a team, and it is us against the world. I really don't get you. Izuku muttered as he walked into his class. There as usual was Katsuki Bakugo, Akakachin, bragging like usual to the rest of the class. Katsuki eyed him from the corner of his eye and grinned maliciously. Oi Deku, you know what happened yesterday? Izuku looked at him. I met All Might as I alone defeated a villain. He screamed as more praises ran down to him. Everyone was expecting for useless. Weak Deku praise Katsuki or cower in fear as usual, but the reaction was different. Yeah, right. Like if I would believe that kind of bullshit. Not even Izuku expected to say that. Katsuki widened his eyes as then the shock turned into pure rage. Deku. He growled as then he lunged forward to blast the fucking nerd at his face. He didn't notice how Izuku's face was adorned with a smirk. Katsuki went for a right hook. But Izuku caught his arm, grabbed the neck of his shirt, and pushed him against the wall as the whole class watched in shock, as the quirkless nerd just countered the powerful Katsuki. Izuku started to squeeze Katsuki's arm, and twisted the neck of his shirt as Katsuki tried to break free of the grip. You're hurting me, Katsuki said, and Izuku scoffed. And? You hurt me for so many years that I lost count. So tell me, how does it feel to be the one being dominated like a dog? Kachin, he asked, adding more pressure as he lifted Katsuki more. What's going on here? The voice of the teacher caught everyone's attention as he glared down Izuku. Quickly one of Katsuki's cronies answered, Deku started attacking Bakugo, sir. Izuku let go of Katsuki as he stuffed his hands into his pockets. Sure, that's exactly what happened, he said with sarcasm lacing in his voice as he then walked out of the class as the teacher screamed for him. Before anyone could notice, he left through the window and landed at the parking lot. Some seconds passed before realization hit him like a bullet. What have I done? Izuku screamed, holding his face as he frantically started to walk around a car that was there. We did what we wanted. We teach Kachin a lesson he won't forget soon, the voice said as Izuku stopped. You did that. You made me say those things and do what I did, Izuku concluded, and the voice chuckled. I just gave you a push. You did the rest. Tell me, didn't you enjoy being the big dog for once? He did like it. So why don't you accept it? Why don't you accept your new life, our power? Because what you want is wrong, Izuku screamed. Why you want me to kill? That is what villains do. Why you are a villain. The voice didn't answer at first, making Izuku feel nervous. Look at your reflection. Now, Izuku, confused, looked at the window of the car, and he saw the black substance in the form of a head with white eyes that took most of its face and a big grin that showed the many elongated teeth that the weird creature had. Izuku covered his mouth as he took some steps back. That is us. Why don't you accept it? The voice roared inside his head. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up, Izuku screamed as he grabs hold of his head. He hears some sound coming, probably people towards his direction. Probably alarmed by the screams. Before he could react, his arm moved, and from there a black web was shot towards the roof of a building, and it dragged Izuku there. Izuku landed roughly on the rooftop before the other spoke again. I'm trying to help you. Don't you want to be a hero? With my power, we can become the strongest hero in this planet. Why you would kill people? That's not what a hero does. Izuku countered as he stood up. He heard a groan. You know why I choose you and stayed with you? Because believe me, I could have go with 𝐭 instead. But I stayed here. You know why? Because you are special. What? No, I am not. I am only stupid, useless Deku. And am not special at all. Izuku kicked himself. But you are. And I am here for you. Like I said before, we are a team. Is more you can consider me. Your quirk. Izuku felt tears welling in his eyes as he was feeling overjoyed. He still don't trust this thing, but if he can become a hero with it help, we will take it. All I ask from you is to live here in your body. This is what you humans call symbiosis. Right? I guess. So, what are we now? Izuku asked, and the other chuckled. We partner, we are Venom. Life Foundation HQ*. Did you find the symbiote already? Yes, sir. And it seems it found a host, sir. A tan-skinned man with black hair nodded. I see. Have it taken full control over the host? The worker shook his head. No, sir. Apparently, they are coexisting. Coexisting. Interesting. The other subjects were simply killed or taken over completely. I wonder why this is different. Sir. Capture the host alive. I want to put him through some tests. The man said as he walked away, leaving the worker nod and scan a picture of Izuku swinging across the city at night. I'm back. Welcome everybody to the second chapter of In My Veins. Here, there is going to be a twist that will change the whole story and Izuku himself. And about the poll for the main girl, this is how it is looking for the moment. May 8. Momo, 7 Toga, 2 Mina, 3. As you can see, May is winning by 2 votes. This is the last chapter to vote, so make sure you leave your vote at the reviews or PM me with it. And now, let's go to the story. Legend. Talking. Thinking. Symbiote talking in Izuku's mind. Venom speaking. Chapter 2. Adapt or Die. Izuku was laid on his bed and looking at the roof while talking with the other. With these powers we can become a well-rounded hero. We can shoot that web thing, climb walls, super strength, and the list goes on and on. I bet that with time, we can even beat big-name heroes like Endeavor or even All Might. The chances and possibilities are endless with this 𝗨. I hate to interrupt, but she is coming to check on us again. The other said as 𝐒𝐭 opened the door to look inside Izuku's room. Izuku? With who are you talking to? 𝐒𝐭 asked her son that smiled at her. With a friend, Mom. Don't worry. Izuku told her and she nodded. Okay, if anything is wrong, would you tell me, right? Izuku nodded. Of course, Mom. 𝐒𝐭 nodded again before closing the door. Once gone, Izuku laid himself on his bed as he released a breath. She is kind of annoying, the other said, and Izuku sat back up. Don't say that. She just worries too much. When we arrived 5 minutes late that one time, she thought that we were kidnapped and tortured. Izuku sighed as he rubbed his templates. 2 months being with this other being was getting tiresome. It complains a lot, wants him to commit illegal acts, and in more than one time, it has taken control over his body while he was sleeping. He knows that because he woke up in a dumpster more than once. Don't you start about that. I also need to move from time to time. I take the worst part of our relationship, you know? The other complained. That was another thing. The other could read his mind. So, whatever he thinks, the other knows it. It makes sense if you think about it. I am inside you, and I circulate, per se, across your body. But usually I am found at your brain. It is kind of unfair, don't you think? I mean, can you at least ask me for permission? Izuku asked the other. I just do what I think that it is the best for us. Like 𝐭. He doesn't bother us anymore since we defeated him. That was true. 𝐭 hasn't bothered him since that day. Matter of fact, none of his classmates had bothered him. Maybe they are waiting for 𝐭𝐻𝐿 to make a move. But he won't. I noticed how he looks at us now. With respect. He knows who we are now. Not useless Deku, but someone stronger than him. Izuku laid again on his bed. Who knows? 𝐭𝐻𝐿 is really unpredictable. But we are stronger. We can kill him whenever we feel like killing him. Izuku sat up. That's not the point. And can you please stop saying stuff like that? I already told you. We won't kill no one. Ever. You say that now. But let us see what happens when shit hits the fan. Izuku shook his head at the word of the other. He stood up, put on his red shoes, and went downstairs towards the door. Mom, I'm going for a walk. Okay, take care, sweetie, 𝐒𝐭 said from the kitchen. Streets Izuku was walking down the street as he listened the other talk about their power and how they should use it. Excuse me, sir, do you have a moment? A girl with blue hair tied in a ponytail asked Izuku. He stopped and turned at the girl that was holding something. Yeah, Izuku said. Even with the confidence push that he got by the other, he still feels awkward talking to girls. The girl giggled. We are giving these free bracelets. Here, take one. The girl offered him a black bracelet with a little black, shiny rock at the middle. Izuku took it and put it around his hand. He grinned at the girl thanks, and left the girl behind that waved at him. Once they were away, the other decided to talk. That was weird. Why? Izuku asked. It wasn't that weird. There are many companies that give away free merchandise in a way of propaganda. It doesn't have any logo or catchphrase. The other noted, and Izuku looked at the bracelet, and indeed, it was clear of any images. Maybe she was just being generous? Izuku asked it, and he could hear it scoff. Believe what you want. But it was weird. The girl, for her part, walked towards an alleyway and took out her phone. She dialed a number and put the device against her ear. Once the line was picked up, she simply said the dog had been marked. Then she hanged up. Midoriya's residence **. Here you have a nice plate of katsudon, 𝐭𝐿 said as she placed Izuku's favorite dish in front of him. Izuku grinned as he grabbed his fork and knife and was about to eat when he felt something tingling in his head. The only time he felt that before was when 𝐭𝐻𝐿 was going to attack him last time. Before any of the Midoriyas could notice, the door was blown open and 4 men, dressed in a black combat suit like the ones of Special Operation wears, came into the department all wielding machine guns. When they spotted Izuku and 𝐭𝐿, they pointed to them. 𝐭𝐿 let out a scream and Izuku took a step back as he started to sweat. Who are these guys? He whispered. Mercenaries. Probably hired by Life Foundation. What? Calm down and let me handle this. The other ordered and Izuku gulped as he nodded. The 4 men surrounded the Midoriyas. 2 in front of them, 1 at their right, facing the wall, and other at the left, facing the window. Izuku, Midoriya, come with us peacefully, or we will be forced to retrain you by force. 1 in the middle said, and 𝐭𝐿 widened her eyes. What do you want to do with Izuku? She demanded. Look, lady, our business is with a kid. So, keep your trap shut and let us do our work, 𝐒𝐻𝐿. The 1 at the window started, but was cut off when Izuku's arm was covered by the other and taken over and pointed at him as the black web was shot to him towards his face. It grabbed hold of him and pushed him out of the window and towards the metal stair that was by the side of the building. Izuku panicked as he saw that his other arm threw a web towards the 1 at the right, dragging towards him while his other arm closed into a fist and took some space to swing at him. I'm so sorry, Izuku apologized as he then punched the guy towards the wall. It was so powerful that it broke the wall, sending the guy into the kitchen. The 2 in front of them started to shoot Izuku, but a black web was shot from Izuku's back, dragging him behind the table and onto the floor. Then, he kicked the table towards the 2 mercenaries. 1 mercenary was quick enough and dodged the incoming projectile, but the other reacted too slowly, receiving the table and being hit by it, and then hit the wall behind him. The last one was now in front of the space where the door used to be. He grabbed the walkie-talkie that was on chest. "We need backup. I repeat, we need back-egg." His face was grabbed by the web of Izuku and was pushed out of the department and towards a wall. Once he hit, the wall cracked a little as the guy was knocked out. Izuku looked around and saw how they defeated the attackers. He felt powerful. He even doesn't feel tired after doing this. He knows that wasn't even close to his full power. So if this is only a taste, how much would be all of it? Izuku. He snapped out of his thoughts as he turned around and saw his mother looking at him, with tears on her eyes as she walked slowly towards him. "How can you do this?" she asked shakily. "It is a long story that we will explain later. Now, call the police," Izuku said, and 𝐭 got confused when he referred at him as we. But she headed to the phone anyway. She picked the device and noticed that there wasn't tone. It isn't working," she screamed, and Izuku cursed under his breath. "They cut the line." He muttered, "Okay, Mom. I need you to trust me, okay?" Izuku asked her, and 𝐭 nodded. "Good. Jump on my back. We are going to the rooftop." But why do I need to be on your back?" 𝐭 asked, confused. "Mom, trust me," Izuku said, and 𝐭 gulped as she nodded her head. 𝐭 hopped onto Izuku's back. He stumbled a little and walked out to the window. 𝐭 was more than surprised when she saw that her son was now climbing the wall with only his hands and feet and carrying her at the same time. But she was also worried about what is that black thing covering his arms and legs. Honey, what is going on? Who are these men, and what is that thing?" she asked, and the other groaned. "She asks a lot of questions. Why don't we just drop her?" Izuku ignored it. "I'll answer them soon, Mom." They arrived at the rooftop, and once there, the door of there was open, and from there, 3 more men appeared and pointed their guns at them. Izuku started to think on what to do to escape when the other spoke. "Jump. I'll take care of it." Izuku nodded as he ran towards the side of the building and jumped. "Izuku, what are you doing?" "No, wait. Izuku, do you want?" 𝐭 screamed as they started to fall. Izuku also screamed, and before they landed, from Izuku's side a black web was shot, grabbing hold of the 2 buildings that made the alleyway. "Thanks," Izuku said to the other. "Whenever you want." Once in the floor, 𝐭 got off Izuku and looked at him. "Izuku, what is going on?" she asked, and before Izuku could answer another voice came in. "Allow me to explain." They looked towards the street and saw that blocking their way were 6 soldiers and 1 tall man in the middle. "I am Colonel Ibushi, and I am in charge of this operation. You see, your son," he pointed at Izuku, "has a symbiote that belongs to the man that hired me and my boys. And he is happy to pay more if we take your son alive to him." Ibushi explained, and Izuku took a step back as the men pointed their guns at them. Red dots could be seen at 𝐭's and Izuku's chest. "So, Izuku, come with us like a nice little boy or Mommy gets shot." Izuku's eyes widened and was going to step up. He wasn't going to let them harm his mom. He will stop them, one way or another. "I don't care." Izuku looked at his mom that was smiling at him. "Izuku, you have a great power now. Be good with it. Be responsible with it. And remember, I love you." *bang*. Izuku watched as his mom fell to the ground with a hole at the side of her head. Izuku knelt down beside her and held her corpse. "Mom, come on, wake up. Mom, Mom, Mom," Ibushi sighed. "How sad. Now take him." One soldier started to go ahead and pointed the machine gun at Izuku's head. "They killed her." "You killed her," Izuku muttered. "Have your revenge against them. Kill them. You can do it. Do it for Mom." Izuku's arm was covered by the symbiote as he grabbed the cannon of the weapon, and then he crushed it. "What the off?" The soldier was then punched to the wall by Izuku as he slowly stood up. The 5 other soldiers pointed their guns at him as he turned around. Izuku's body was starting to be covered by the symbiote. All his body but his head was covered in it, having some sort of white veins slightly being marked. His fingers became some sort of claws that were the same color as the rest of the suit. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 looked at him unimpressed as he sweated a little. Fire, he ordered as the soldiers opened fire against Izuku, hitting him at the chest. Izuku didn't move from his spot until the soldiers ran out of ammo. Now 𝗵𝗃𝗃 looked kind of scared. Izuku started to walk towards the group as they started to reload their weapons. Why? Izuku asked. Why did you have to kill her? She was innocent. She didn't have to die. Stay back, 𝗵𝗃𝗃 ordered, taking out a gun. You are going to pay, 𝗵𝗃𝗃. At that moment, the symbiote started to move again. It started to cover Izuku's head completely. Once it was just a black mask, it suddenly had two big eyes that are a white color entirely, and a mouth opened more that it could humanly be, revealing a lot of sharp teeth. We are going to make you pay. Minutes later, Hideo Tanaka had just woken up since the target punched him and knocked him out. He was still in the dead end where they cornered him and his mother. But he was hearing the sounds of something being smashed and some sort of grunting. He slowly stood up and saw that some black creature was smashing Commander 𝗵𝗃𝗃's head against the floor over and over again. The creature had some big white eyes that had sharp ends and a big grin with sharp teeth. It had claws and was the size and shape of a slim kid. He took out his combat knife and tried to sneak to the creature and stab it to save or avenge his comrades. When he was going to make his move, the creature turned around and shot some sort of black web that got stuck to his hand with the knife and to the wall. He tried to break free by holding his hand with his other and pushing it. But it had no effect. Did you really thought that sneaking behind us would work? The creature asked as a long tongue came out of his mouth and spit it a little bit. Hideo didn't answer. He took out his pocket gun and started to shoot the creature until he ran out of the 12 bullets the weapon had. The creature laughed at his attempt of saving his life. It shot another web to his free hand, sticking it to the wall. You know, you guys interrupted our dinner. And we are still hungry, even after all this fun. It got close to him and grabbed his head. Its tongue came out of the creature's mouth and started to lick Hideo's face. Hope that you don't mind if we take a bite. Before he could register what happened, the creature's mouth opened wider than he could imagine and lunged to his head. Then he felt a pain at his head, and then he felt nothing at all. Sweet, sweet nectar, the creature said as it tasted the brains and blood of the now dead Hideo. Then it could hear sirens, and he knew what is time to do. Well, time for us to go. It shot a black web to the railing of a rooftop, and he left the dead end with all the corpses in place. It started to swing across the city. It was nighttime, so no one noticed it. It suddenly stopped on a rooftop and grabbed its mouth and started to open it. Let me go, Izuku screamed as his head popped out of the suit, and slowly the symbiote retreated, leaving him in his pajamas. Why did you do that? Izuku screamed. Because you wanted to. You wanted revenge, and I gave you the tools to do it. And we were hungry, so I took a snack. The other explained casually, making Izuku panic more. No, I didn't want to kill them. You forced me. Why? Yes, you wanted. Stop trying to play dumb. You have this power, and you can do whatever you want with it. We can do whatever we want. And we are going to become the hero this world needs so badly. What are you talking about? We can't become a hero anymore. We are murderers, Izuku. When I arrived to this planet, heroes weren't heroes. They were vigilantes. You can be one. A hero that writes his own rules. But isn't that illegal? Murder is it too. But look what happened minutes before. It was right. If he wanted to help people, being a vigilante was his only choice. But isn't that better? He can take out the villains of the city. Permanently. See? We are a team now. Together we can combine fun with justice. So, what do you say, partner? Izuku nodded. Let's do this. But how did they found us in the first place? Izuku asked. The bracelet. What? I knew it was fishy. Look, Izuku lost control of his arms again and saw how he took the bracelet off his wrist and he crushed it. There, he could see some sort of circuits. That girl was working with them. It seems that we will have more problems now. Hey, why don't we give her a visit? After all, this is her fault. *streets *Yoshino Shirai was leaving the club she usually goes after she is done with a mission. Today was to give a green-haired kid a tracking device. She honestly feels kind of bad for the kid. He seemed so young, and to make such a plan to kidnap him was so, hey, wait. She turned around to see the same green-haired kid from before, dressed in black jeans, a white shirt, and a black jacket smiling at her. Hey, look, this is the thing. I broke my other bracelet, so I was wondering if you had another one for me, he asked innocently, and she found herself frozen. Why was this kid here? His expression turned from innocent to menacing. What? Don't feel like killing us anymore? Suddenly, the kid body was starting to be covered by a black goo. His hand turned into claws and his face was morphed by a gigantic grin with sharp teeth, and it had two big white eyes taking most of its face. Because we feel like killing you. Double, what are you? Yoshino screamed and the creature laughed. We are finally Venom, Venom screamed as it attacked her. Life Foundation HQ*. Well, that was a failure. Sir, the symbiote and the host are way stronger than expected. I can tell. That only makes me want to have them in a lab being tested on. Sir, the future of mankind is on that symbiote, and Izuku Midoriya is the key to use it however we want to. Our justice partner, wake up. Izuku turned around on the small bed. Just give me a moment or two, he said, half awakened. The other side, in a moment or two we might end up dead. We need to move. You are overreacting. We had been in this motel for a month or so, and nothing had happened, Izuku said, sitting up and stretching his arms. 1 month has passed since the incident, and Izuku and the other are having an underground life, saying in one way. They became what the public call a vigilante. The Black Spider is the name that the social media gave them. Even though there isn't enough evidence to prove that they exist, rumors are circulating due to one criminal that survived and gave the description the best he could. Their lives had changed. In day, they walk across the city, trying to avoid the attention and to buy food. In night, they become Venom. They hunt down any type of crime and eliminate it permanently. Izuku still can't understand why no other hero does this. This is a better solution that just put villains behind bars. This takes them out of the map. Because they are afraid. They have an image to maintain. If they kill someone, villain or not, in front of a group of people, that image would go down the gutter. We don't have that fear. Because we still don't make it big time. The only thing about us are those videos of the Black Spider. Is he real? Izuku said as he stood up and put on a white sleeveless shirt and his underwear. I hate that name. Who in his right mind came with that name in the first place? Is it too hard to just think of our real name? The other complained. Well, we can't just go to them and scream, we are Venom, call us by that. That would reveal us to the public. And the police are still looking for anyone similar to us. So, the lower our profile is, the better. Izuku said as the symbiote morphed into his clothes. A black hoodie and black jeans. He put on his red shoes and walked out of the motel room they were in, ignoring the corpse that was in the bathroom. Why did we kill him again? Izuku asked the other. He was scamming people with fake drug. The other reminded Izuku that nodded. Fair enough. Grocery store. What should we buy? Izuku asked, and the other didn't hesitate. Chocolate. Izuku released a sigh. Besides that, I don't care. I need that chemical that is in the brain to survive. But because you bitch a lot when we eat a brain, I need to eat chocolate instead. I let you eat that. Only that I also need more food besides chocolate and that. Didn't you like katsudon? I do. But we don't have enough money to, but the ingredients, or a kitchen to cook them, or the knowledge to make katsudon. Izuku explained, and the other grumbled. We can always kill and stay into someone's rich house. That's too obvious. If a guy with an actual job disappears, they are going to his house to check on him. Then we are screwed. Besides oi kid, with who are you talking? He heard someone ask him, and he quickly turned his head to the owner of the voice. It was a man with a muscular build, black messy hair that covered his eyes, red eyes and a flat face due to his lack of nose. He was in a stand in a hunched way. Izuku glared at him as he grabbed 3 bars of chocolate. With myself. Now get lost, he said and walked to the side of instant food. His senses went high when he felt a hand on his shoulder. You know, it isn't normal for a kid to be talking alone, the stranger said as Izuku shook his hand off his shoulder. It is normal for us, Izuku simply said as he grabbed 2 instant ramen recipients. He went to pay and the man followed him. Let me pay for ya, he said, and Izuku glared at him. I already told you, get lost. The man didn't bother. He handed the lady that was working as cashier the money that Izuku's food was worth. Hey, we're paying that. Drop it, kid, the man said as he handed the bag of goods to Izuku that snatched it from the stranger's hand. Thanks, we guess, Izuku said, and the stranger nodded. You're welcome, kid. Name's Akaguro Chisum. Nighttime asterisk. And here we go with another night of job, Izuku said as he was sat on the railing of a building, overwatching the city. He had his suit, except for the head, as he was eating his last bar of chocolate. Let's try to keep up all the night. Yesterday we were only able to do 6 hours. That's because being Venom takes a big toll on our body. We were lucky we were able to wake up today. Whatever. Put on the mask and let's go. I'm bored, the other said as Izuku threw the wrapper of the chocolate away and his head was covered by the symbiote. A grin full of sharp teeth appeared, accompanied by those 2 big white eyes. Venom jumped from the building he was and started to swing looking for some prey. After some minutes, he heard to some screaming. Going to the direction, the smell of blood hit him, and he landed on a wall where he stayed stuck to see the situation. It seemed that it was a hero, not one that he recognizes, losing a fight against a villain that his arms were made of stone. The villain was going for a finishing blow, and that's when he decided to act. The villain raised his arm to smash the hero's face, so Venom threw a web to stop him from completing the motion. The villain turned around and Venom threw himself to him, punching him to the face, sending him to a wall, for then be webbed to it. Venom chuckled as he slowly walked to helpless villain. "Debbie, what are you doing?" the hero asked, and Venom chuckled. "We?" Venom asked as he grabbed the head of the villain that was a little out of it. "We are simply doing your job." But in a swift motion, Venom broke his neck as his tongue licked the now dead villain's head. "Better. You are the Black Spider," the hero accused, and Venom groaned. "That name again? We hate that name. We are Venom, and you know too much now." "No. If I defeat you, I'll become famous," he said as he struggled to stand up. "I'll arrest you and become a big-name hero," he exclaimed before a sword went through his chest, killing him. Venom tilted his head. "What a phony. People like you are the reason this society is dying," a voice said, and Venom narrowed his eyes at the figure in front of him. "You are Stain, aren't you? It is good that you know me, Black Spider, or however you want to be called. That saves us introductions," Stain said as he walked to Venom that got into position if he needs to kill the man in front of him. "I have an offer for you." "About that, we don't care," Venom said as he spit a little. Stain didn't bother. "Come on, Izuku. Aren't you interested?" Stain said, and Venom glared at him as he looked ready to jump at him. Stain saw this and decided to calm him down. "Look, kid, I am here to talk. Why don't we go to somewhere more private?" Izuku and the other were fighting in Venom's head to decide to kill the hero killer or let him talk. At the end, Venom looked at him at the eye. "Follow us." After saying that, Venom started climb on the wall to the rooftop. Stain, surprising them, keep up and even arrived first. The symbiote retreated from Izuku's head, leaving him at view. Stain could tell he wasn't happy due to the glare he was receiving. "How did you know it was us?" "The bag I gave you had a tracker. I followed you from a good distance, and I saw how you transformed into that." Stain explained, and Izuku looked down while the other was cursing. "So, what's your deal?" Izuku asked, and Stain grinned. "Simple. I want you to help me clean this society from the fake heroes," he said as he extended his arms, and Izuku raised an eyebrow. "Fake heroes?" Stain nodded. "Yes, like the one below." He was only interested in becoming famous. He admitted it. "You and I, we just want to help people. We aren't interested in fame and fortune. We are part of the few true heroes." "We are not a hero. We are a vigilante," Izuku said, and Stain chuckled. "A license doesn't make you a hero. Your actions do. I know how you operate. You jump into the scene, kill the bad guys and leave. But you never hurt an innocent. Even after they saw you. You care about the greater good. And you know that the end justifies the means," Stain said, and Izuku found himself thinking his words. "At least we have a common thought." The other commented, and Izuku closed his eyes. "Your thought is kill to have fun." "Excuse me," Stain said, not understanding from where did that came from. "I'm talking to myself," Izuku said. "And for your offer, we have to decline. We work better by ourselves and we don't trust you." Stain narrowed his eyes. "But you aren't our enemy. You are right. The end justifies the means if it is for the greater good. Who knows, we might end up together if we found ourselves in trouble," Izuku said, and Stain chuckled lowly. "You're interesting, kid. Take care." After saying that, Stain jumped from building to building as Izuku watched him. "You too, 𝗧𝗵𝗲," he finished as the symbiote covered his head and went back to his nightly patrol. Some days later, nighttime. "So, here is the place, huh?" Izuku said as he eyed an abandoned storage. "The guy we interrogated yesterday said that the deal was going down here." Izuku nodded. "Then let's get into a better position," Izuku said as he was covered by the symbiote and jumped towards the storage. He got in by one of the broken windows and stick himself to the roof where no one could see him. He waited there until he heard some shuffle at other part of the building. He crawled there and saw that there was a guy tied up in some sort of bandages. He jumped off the roof and walked to the guy and took off the tape of his mouth. "Who did this?" he asked, but the guy seemed too terrified to answer. "That would be me." He heard behind him and saw that from one of the railings the storage had. There was a man dressed in black, with long dirty black hair, yellow goggles, and a white scarf. "Black Spider." "Don't call us that, Eraserhead," Venom said. Eraser sighed. "Do you know that vigilantism is illegal, right? Do you know that the people that piss us off usually dies, right?" Eraser seemed annoyed, but kept his cool. "You know, I should just stop you now and take you to Tartarus." Venom narrowed his eyes at him. "We would like to see you try. But, for some reason beyond my comprehension, my boss is really interested in you. He actually told us that if we find you, we should invite you to 𝐒𝐻𝐢." Venom snorted at the thought. "They in 𝐒𝐻𝐢? No way that's possible. For more tentative than it sounds, we are going to decline. We don't buy for 1 second that you guys are actually interested in me joining the #1 hero school of the country," Venom said, and was getting ready to leave when his senses kicked in. He jumped to the side to avoid Eraser's scarf going to him. "Then Tartarus is it?" Venom laughed as he jumped to Eraser. The pro hero activated his quirk trying to make him weaker, but it didn't seem to have any effect. He dodged when Venom tried to hit him with his claws, jumping back. When he landed, He threw a fist to the vigilante chest that surprisingly took it. And to add surprises, his chest deformed and trapped his hand. There, Venom started to punch him over and over again, even breaking his goggles. Before Eraser was about to pass out, Venom released his hand and threw him to a wall and webbed him to it. You know why you are still alive? Because we like you. We think that you are a good hero. But try something like that again, and we will eat your brain. Venom warned to the trapped hero that was struggling to stay awake. And by the way, we are not the Black Spider. We are Venom, and we are here to stay. After saying that, Venom left by the window. Aizawa could only wonder what a shitty night to be him. Next day. Why did you do that? Izuku asked the other as they were reading the newspaper. On the cover there was written in big, bold letters, New Vigilante confirmed. Venom is real. It was the heat of the moment. Besides, a little bit of attention wouldn't kill us. It might. They might end up linking what happened with Life Foundation with us now. Now who is overreacting? Izuku threw the newspaper to the wall. Oh, shut up. After some minutes of silence, Izuku spoke up again. Hey, are we the bad guys? For most people, yes. Heroes, villains, and some civilians are afraid of us or hate us. Or both. But probably for the people we saved and maybe Stain, we are. Okay, I guess. But what matters is what you think. Tell me, are we the bad guy? Izuku shook his head. No, I don't think so. Then we are fine. Izuku chuckled. For being an alien being that just thinks of killing, eating, and surviving, you're a pretty good counselor. Izuku joked as the other grumbled. Shut up. Izuku laughed as he stood up. Anyways, do you want some chocolate ice cream? It is hot outside. His only answer was that the symbiote to cover his body in his usual clothes. Then let's go. Life Foundation HQ *. Interesting. Sir? Both sides of the coin want him. I wonder how this will affect the development of the symbiote in him. Sir? Keep watching him, but don't do any move to interfere. I want to see how far they will play hero. Storming the castle, Makoto Kiwata haven't been so afraid during his lifetime. He was recruited by some sort of crime lord, alongside other people to break into a mansion and take everything of value. He was born with a lame quirk. He can create a light from his right eye when he closes the left one. It wasn't the blinding type of light either. It wasn't good for hero or villain material. Because of economic problems, he was dragged into this. He was returning from a meeting he had, preparing the robbery, when he was surprised when some saliva fell on his shirt. He was walking under an alleyway with a roof. He looked up and closed his left eye to see what it was. It was a humanoid creature that its body was black with some veins popping. It had big white eyes and a grin full of sharp teeth. Before Makoto could react, the creature jumped on top of him. So, we were wondering, what's the plan for tomorrow night? The creature asked while spitting a little on his face. I. Come on, we don't bite too hard, the creature said, and Makoto gulped. If you talk, we might consider leaving you alone. Makoto took a deep breath before speaking. He told who he can guess is the Black Spider everything he knew: location, time, number of people involved, weapons. The spider nodded. We see. Well, here is where we part ways. After saying that, he quickly bit his head, killing him in the moment. Venom tasted his blood before climbing to a rooftop. Tomorrow will be interesting. Better have a good night of sleep. Who knows what might happen? He said as he started to swing across the city to the motel he was sleeping now. Next day. Afternoon. This is... Wow. Izuku said as he stared to the mansion that was the target of the robbery tonight. Of course, they want to steal this place. Who wouldn't? We. Izuku said as he kept on looking the mansion. Besides us. You know what I am talking about. Izuku smiled. Yeah. But we need to be careful. This is going to be different from just jumping on random thugs on the street. This time, we need to act quickly and with care. Otherwise, innocent people might, excuse me, but with who are you talking? Izuku heard a voice next to him, and he turned his head and saw a teenage girl with a more mature body. She had black eyes. She had long black hair tied in a spiky ponytail, and had some bangs at the right side of her face. Izuku looked at her before turning around and leaving, with no one. Were you waiting for someone? The girl asked again, and Izuku didn't stop. No. Then why were you here, talking with no one? Izuku sighed as he stopped and looked at the girl. Look, we are not in the mood for some questions of someone we don't know. So, do you mind, Lee? How rude of me. The girl interrupted him as she walked towards him. My name is Momo Yaoyorozu. I got curious because I haven't seen you around in this neighborhood, she said as she stretched his hand. I bet that this house takes the whole neighborhood. The other sneered, but Izuku ignored him as he kept staring at the girl with a wary look. Momo started to get nervous under his stare. I don't bite. She joked as she released a nervous laugh, trying to make the weird boy more comfortable. At the end, Izuku shook her hand, Izuku Midoriya. And we were just walking around, and then we saw this mansion. Izuku pointed to the house. And we were just admiring it. Oh, do you like my house? Momo asked with a small smile, and Izuku blinked a little. This is yours, he said, pointing to the place, and Momo nodded. That's right. This is the Yaoyorozu state. Do you live around here? She asked with a graceful smile. I can't tell if she is bragging about this castle or just being sincere and happy. Me neither. Excuse me? Momo asked, confused why he just said that. No, I wasn't talking to you. The thing is that I am schizophrenic, Izuku said, excusing why he speaks alone. Momo seemed to buy it. Oh my. How is it? I'd rather not talk about that. And for your question, no, I don't live around here. I moved from motel. Izuku said, changing the topic, and was about to leave when Momo talked again. Motel? Izuku, by any chance, are you homeless? The other laughed at the situation they found themselves in, and Izuku looked away with a small blush. That's kind of blunt to ask us. So, you are? Momo confirmed, and the other took control over Izuku's neck, making him nod. Momo nodded, and Izuku thought that she was going to leave him alone. From the look of her house, she probably doesn't want to hang out with someone that doesn't even have somewhere stable to sleep. I don't think so, partner. Why? Izuku asked. But his answer came when his senses flared up, and he saw the girl grab his hand and drag him inside the state. Oi, what are you doing? Izuku demanded, and Momo looked at him with a stern look. Izuku, it is my duty as someone with more resources than you, help you. Not only that, as a future heroine, I want to help those in need, she explained as she kept dragging him into the gigantic entrance. Izuku thought of just using his strength to get free of her grip. But then, the voice of reason came into play. Partner, think about this. This way, we can already have an inner look of the place and find entrances and exits. Izuku thought of it before sighing and started to walk alongside the girl. Fine, you win. Momo looked at him. With who are you talking now? With both of you. Dining room. We have now words to describe this. I don't understand why humans need this type of luxury. Because I am sure that they would be fine in a normal house. Momo giggled as she brought a tray of tea and snacks. Please, don't feel overwhelmed. Here, have some tea, she said as she poured tea into a cup and handed it to Izuku. Izuku nodded as he drank his tea. It is really good. You made it? Momo nodded as she sat next to Izuku. So, do you always bring homeless strangers to your place, or we are a first? Momo shook her head. No. I usually don't bring too many people here. I just saw that you needed help, and you looked like someone nice, so. Okay, we get it. Thanks for your help. But won't your parents be mad for this? Izuku asked, and Momo shook her head. No. Mother will be at work for some days and father isn't in this world anymore, she said as a sad frown took over her face. Oh, sorry about your loss, Izuku said, not really knowing what to say in this moment. It is okay. Now, let me show you your room, she said as she stood up, and Izuku choked on his tea. Our room, she nodded. Yes. I don't intend for you to go back to another motel. You will be staying here until Mother arrives. She runs a foundation to help the more needed, Momo explained. How noble of her. Yes. Now, follow me, Momo said as she took the lead and Izuku followed behind. Hey, why do I feel kind of pathetic right now? Izuku mumbled as he asked the other. Because we are being horribly pathetic right now because of you. Later at night, Izuku decided to sleep for the rest of the day. Momo came to check on him sometimes, clearly worried if he was comfortable. He told her they were fine, and that seemed enough to convince her. He tried not to dirty or to make a mess in the biggest room he ever had. He was honestly wondering if this girl was fine in the head. Don't blame her. She probably has enough money to buy the whole school we were going and build a new and bigger one. I know, it is just weird that she wants to help people that badly. Who does she remind me of? Izuku raised a brow at the accusation. We are not that alike. In some things you are. Both of you seem to have high standards to do good. She invited you, a stranger that might harm her or her family, just because she wanted to help you. Think about it. Izuku sat up on the bed. What are you trying to do? You usually are the first one to say that we shouldn't trust others. Well, maybe if she trusts us enough, we might use her resources to our advantage, the other suggested, and Izuku shook his head. No, that's something a villain would do. So, are you telling me you don't like this place? We can convince her to use this place as our hideout, our base of operations. Think about it. Izuku sighed. I'll think about it. Okay. He looked at a clock that was on a table. It is almost the hour. They should arrive any moment now. As in cue, the sound of a truck stopping has heard. They probably cut the alarms, the other mentioned, and Izuku nodded as he jumped to his feet. Anyway, it is showtime. Izuku's body got covered by the symbiote as he exited the room and jumped to the roof to hide himself from sight. He crawled looking for the thieves. According to the guy they interrogated yesterday, in total counting him we're 6. With him out of the picture, he only has to take down 5. They enter the place with the help of a guy that can mold his fingers into different shapes and separated to cover the place better. Venom started with the ones that went upstairs. 2 went there and 1 took the right wing of the house, while the other the left one. The one that went to the left one went to the room they were staying. Before he could open the door, Venom stick him to the roof and decided to let him live to ask him questions later. He saw how the guy tried to break free, but moved when he heard a scream. Momo, Venom muttered, remembering the girl. The other was saying she was already dead, so better drop it. But Izuku made Venom swing to her room that had the door wide open. Inside, Momo was covered by the bed sheets and her pajama, while the guy was pointing a gun to her. Don't scream again or I'll shoot, okay? The guy sounded nervous, but Momo nodded anyway. Now, you'll show me the things of more value. That way, we will leave 𝐒𝐻. The guy was interrupted when a black web grabbed him by the head, threw him backwards to the floor, and then was webbed to it. Momo watched as a black creature landed on top of him and punched him twice or thrice before slowly standing up and looking at her. She saw a report and hear some of her classmates talk about a black creature with big white eyes, a big grin with sharp teeth that kills criminals. A vigilante. The black spider. Momo muttered and Venom groaned. That isn't our name. It is Venom. It even appears in the news, for God's sakes. Never mind, stay here. And don't move. Momo nodded as Venom went to the stairs. "Hey, I heard something upstairs," one warned as the others reunited in front of the stairs. The one in the middle was the first one to be attacked by Venom, as he landed on top of him, and with one strong punch, knocked him out. The other created a knife from his finger and went to stab him. Venom grabbed his wrist and guided the knife to his neck, killing the second thief. The last one, much more muscular than the rest, just clapped his hands, creating a sound wave towards Venom. It was powerful enough to break windows and some jars. Venom hasn't felt anything like that before. His whole body was being deformed by the sound as he let out a chilling scream. He fell to his knees where the guy punched him, making another, but smaller, sound wave taking part of the symbiote off his face. "So, the scary black spider is afraid of sound, huh?" the guy said as he walked to him. "I wonder what will happen if I clap your head," he screamed, but the only sound following that was the sound of metal hitting bone. The guy fell, knocked out, and standing up was Momo, with a baseball bat at hand. "Venom, are you okay? Are you Izuku?" she asked, seeing Izuku's face that quickly called the symbiote to cover himself up. He ignored the question as he walked towards the guy he left tied on the roof. But Momo wanted answers. "The guy that is in my room is barely breathing." "Oh, what a shame. Our intentions were others." Venom threw a web to the roof and dragged the guy down. Before he could hit the ground, Venom grabbed him by the neck and lifted him up. "For who are you working?" Venom licked his face as the man started to talk. "Why, Yujiro Takahashi. That's his name. Please, don't hurt me." The man pleaded as Venom opened his mouth to bite his head off. "Wait." Momo screamed as the man's head was almost fully inside Venom's mouth. Venom stopped and looked at her with what she could tell was an annoyed guy that was being held by him. Released a breath. "Why, you don't have to do this, is Venom. You have power. Then use it for good." Momo screamed and Venom started to hear both voices in his head. Izuku saying that she was right. That they are wrong, that what they had done till now was wrong. While the other was arguing that he is just like that because he is trying to impress the girl. That they had done a greater good by eliminating scum from the street. That if they let this leave, he will do something like this again. At the end, Venom threw the guy to the wall and webbed him to it. He walked past Momo that kept a look of shock. "Don't tell anyone." After saying that, he left from a window as the police arrived. What just happened? Next day, afternoon. Momo Yaoyorozu consider herself as someone righteous. That's why she invited Izuku Midoriya to her house yesterday. Because he seemed someone that needed help. The events of yesterday still float over her head. Meeting and discovering the Vigilante's identity, the robbery of her house, and the aforementioned Vigilante stopping the crime. When the police asked her questions about what she saw and about Venom, she told them that she just saw him come, fight the guys away and leave. She didn't expect to see him again anytime soon. That's why she is so surprised that on her way back home, Izuku got in front of her. "You didn't rat us out," Izuku said, and Momo nodded. "Well, yes, I didn't." "Why?" Izuku asked, taking one step closer to her. "Why didn't you tell them who we are? That's the easy way to become famous." Momo gulped. She didn't recall him being so intimidating. "Well, as I said before, you helped me when you weren't forced, and because I believe you can change." Izuku scoffed. "I don't think so. We had killed a lot of people in a short amount of time. Yesterday we were soft for a moment. That won't happen again," Izuku said, and Momo nodded, unsure. "Reasiite. So, what do you need from me exactly?" Izuku looked at her. "Can you lend us your computer or phone? We need to look for something." Momo nodded. "Sure. What do you need to search?" she asked, taking out her phone. "Yujiro Takahashi." Momo nodded as she searched the name. "Isn't that the guy that hired the thieves?" "It should be," Izuku said, getting next to Momo as the search result appeared. "Done. He is a wealthy businessman that had been accused of blackmailing, intimidation against other companies and more," Momo informed, and Izuku nodded. Then there is a chance he is guilty. Thanks. Izuku turned around ready to leave when Momo called him. Izuku. He turned around to look at her face. Can you promise me you won't kill him? She asked, and Izuku continued on his way. I can't. I don't control Venom 100%. We are two beings in one. Izuku said cryptically. Momo looked down. Look, if you let him live, come back and find me. If you don't, please, never talk to me again. Izuku nodded as he left. Understood. Asterisk that night. Top of Takahashi Inc. Asterisk stop thinking about it. About what exactly? About what that girl said. We don't need her, or anybody for the matter. The last person that got too close to us died, remember? An image of his mother passed across his eyes. She knows nothing about us. Let's keep it that way. Guess you're right. Let's go. Izuku said as the symbiote covered his body and Venom started to crawl into the ventilation system. He crawled until he opened the vent that guided into Yujiro's office. Yujiro Takahashi is a middle-aged man in his 40s or 50s, with a small mustache, hair slicked back, and was dressed in a white suit with black shirt and a red tie. He was looking at the window outside. So, you came after me. How predictable. Yujiro said as Venom laughed. What? Got a plan against us? Yujiro shook his head as he turned around. I am afraid not. A lot had tried to take you down and all had failed. And I honestly prefer dying with dignity than going to prison humiliated. So, go ahead. I know how much you like biting. He walked until he was in front of Venom that grabbed his head with both of his hands. With pleasure. Venom said as he opened his mouth and put Yujiro's head into his. He was about to bite when Izuku's voice was heard. Wait, we shouldn't. Why? We have him where we wanted. The other complained. This is wrong. Killing him. Don't tell me that you are getting soft over some girl's advice. Just bite his head off. Think it this way. For him, being in prison is far worse than dying. But we want to kill him. Excuse me. I hate to interrupt your internal debate, Venom. But can you hurry? You don't have a very good smell, if I can say. Yujiro mocked as Venom closed his eyes and made his decision. Asterisk next day, morning. Yaoyorozu State asterisk Momo was smiling as she read the headline of the newspaper. Asterisk crime lord arrested. Takahashi finally behind bars. Asterisk. You let him live after all. She muttered for herself. We had a little chat and I end up winning. Izuku's voice made her jump of surprise as she turned around and saw him standing against the wall, eating a chocolate bar. Izuku, how did you get in here? Izuku shrugged. We got our ways. Besides, you told us to come visit you if we do the right thing. So, here we are. Momo smiled before asking, May I know, why did you follow my advice? Izuku looked away with a small blush. Talking to the other isn't good for my sanity. Having another person to talk with might be good and fun. Momo's eyes shined at that. Then we are friends. Izuku nodded. Yeah. Why not? Momo then grabbed his hands and looked at him at the eyes. You are not going to regret this. We can have tea, go to coffees, see movies. This is going to be so much fun. She kept on talking on what their new friendship was going to be like as Izuku just watched her become a more bouncy person. You are going to regret this, partner. You are going to regret allowing her into our life when she is dead because of us. The other warned, and Izuku shook his head. You are too negative. I mean, how bad having a friend can be. Really bad. Believe me. Asterisk prison asterisk. Hey, Yujiro. Wow man, orange is your color. Yujiro sat on the booth holding the phone as he stared at the man in front of him with a bored look. What do you want, Shinsuke? Shinsuke scoffed, social and charismatic as always. I came here to chat about an encounter you had. Encounter? Shinsuke nodded. Yes, with our newest vigilante, of course. A true villain. Izuku was walking across the street with his hands stuffed in his pockets. He was just told by Momo that her recommendation was accepted, and that now she is going to 𝐻𝐸𝐽. He smiled at the memory. Seeing his friend happy is always something refreshing. Looking up to the sky, he started to wonder, does he still have a chance to go to 𝐻𝐸𝐽? No. We are wanted vigilantes that had committed murder already. Do you think they will accept someone like us there? The other asked rhetorically, and Izuku frowned. I know that already. No need to remind me. He could feel the other grinning. If you ask me, I would say that you are jealous of Momo. Izuku raised an eyebrow. Jealous? Why should I? Simple. She has a loving family, something that was ripped from us. She was more money, something we never had. And, last but more important, she got into 𝐻𝐸𝐽, something we will never be able to do. Izuku's frown intensified as he looked to the front of the street. You know, I'm done talking with you for now. The other chuckled. Why? Did I hit a sore spot? Izuku didn't answer. He kept walking down the street. Oh, so you're giving me the cold shoulder after everything I gave you. What? You want me to say thanks or something? Izuku asked, and the other chuckled. No, nothing like that. Even thought it would be a nice detail. I am not interested in your thanks. I am pretty sure you know what I want. Izuku sighed. For the last time. We are not killing again. Not anymore. The other grumbled. That girl is a really bad influence for us. Do what you want. But I am done trying to put some sense in your head. They walked in silence for a couple of minutes. It didn't last long. Izuku's senses flared up as he dodged a knife headed to his head. He landed and glared at his attacker. It was a blonde girl in some school uniform, with two messy buns, a crazy grin plastered on her face, and an angry blush. Wow, that was so cool, Venom, she exclaimed, and Izuku narrowed his eyes. How do you know who we are? The girl giggled. Sensei told me. He asked me to take you with me. Sensei? Izuku asked, and the girl nodded. Yup, come on, we need to go, otherwise 𝗵𝗲 will get cranky. The girl whined, and Izuku covered his arm in the symbiote. And if we don't want to go to meet this sensei, he said, and the girl grinned. Come on, Venom. I know you want to see who it is. Can you come? Pretty please? For a fan. She begged, and the other spoke. Let's play her game for now. We might find something interesting here. Izuku sighed. Fine. Show the way. The girl giggled as a purple mist took over them. Before he could react, he was in a bar. Toga, you already bring him, I see. The girl, Toga, nodded. That's right. A teen in black with light blue hair grinned. Welcome, Venom. We were looking for you for a while. Where are we, and who are you? Izuku asked, feeling that in the room there were only 4 people. My name is Tamura Shigaraki, leader of the League of Villains. And we want to, not interested? Izuku interrupted, and Tamura glared at him. Eh? Sorry, but we are more like a vigilante. Instead of helping villains, we usually kill them. Izuku said, and Tamura glared at him. The bartender, a man seemingly made out of mist, put down a glass he was cleaning. Toga took out a knife, and a scarred man extended his hand as blue flames started to come out. Tamura, why don't you let me talk with our guest? A deeper voice said, and they turned to a man with a black mask and a black tuxedo. Sensei? Tamura asked, and Izuku knew he was the true leader. He prepared to attack when the other spoke. Don't. I can tell he is strong. Maybe more than All Might. The other warned, and Izuku gritted his teeth. If the other warned him about an enemy, it meant they are bad news. Sensei looked at Izuku and made a sign to follow him. Let's talk in my office. Inside the office of Sensei, the man sat behind a desk, while Izuku remained standing up, glaring at the man. So, Venom. Or do you rather Izuku? We don't care. Let's just get over with this. Izuku said, and Sensei chuckled. Well, if you insist. Tell me, Izuku, do you know the goal of this group? Izuku shook his head. Our objective is to destroy this society full of superficiality and create a new where no heroes exist. Only people like you and me. And you already are helping us. Izuku raised a brow. How exactly? Whenever you kill a villain, you get rid of a disease that plagues this world. Because, even though we are called League of Villains, we are not the bad guys in the story. We are just misunderstood. Like you. Izuku narrowed his eyes. Go to the point. Sensei chuckled. We want you to join the League. With your help, we can create this world we want. And if we refuse, Izuku asked, ready to fight or flee. Nothing. We are not going to force you to join. But we must warn you. If you get in the middle of our business, I am afraid we will have to take measures. Izuku nodded and turned around ready to leave when Sensei called him. Oh, and one last thing. Don't trust in everything your friend says. That symbiote is a bad influence. Izuku froze and tuned to Sensei He knows. We need to leave. Now, Izuku left in a hurry the bar and went to the rooftops. He has a lot to think now. *𝐒𝐻𝐢𝐳 estate *Momo opened the door to see one of the workers of her mother, Shinsuke. What a pleasant surprise. The man nodded. Yeah. Hey, is your mom here? Upstairs in her office. Momo informed as he let the man in. Do you want anything? Tea maybe? Shinsuke shook his head. Nah. I just came here to give the boss lady a quick report of a project. Now if you excuse me. He walked upstairs and knocked on the door leading to the office. After a quick come-in, he enters to see Mrs. Yaoyorozu working. Hey, boss. Bring the reports about the spider, he said, taking out a folder. Mrs. Yaoyorozu smiled and nodded. Thanks, Shinsuke. Anything important? Shinsuke shrugged. All in is in the folder. But I think that the host is also gaining more control. Oh, does Izuku control it? Shinsuke shrugged. We don't know quite yet. We believe that because the murder rate of Venom has decreased to minimal levels. He then saw a picture on his boss' desk of Momo and Izuku. Isn't that? Mrs. Yaoyorozu nodded. That's right. My daughter and the host became friends for reasons. But I want to see how this evolves. This is dangerous, boss. Who knows if the symbiote gains control and ends up killing your daughter? Mrs. Yaoyorozu smiled. Is a risk I am willing to take. To know all the aspects of the coexistence of the symbiote and host, I think it would be better to see it by myself. Shinsuke sighed but nodded. Sure. But you just need to give me the order, and I will take care of the problem. Mrs. Yaoyorozu smiled at him. I know, Shinsuke. But there are more ways to experiment than just in a lab. Attack at the 𝐒𝐻𝐢𝐵. I'm leaving. Momo screamed as Izuku was watching the TV, sat with his legs crossed. Good luck and take care. Izuku told her, and she smiled at him and nodded. She left the house and closed the door behind her. Izuku kept watching the TV as he felt another person coming. Hello, Miss Yaoyorozu. Izuku greeted her, without taking his eyes from the screen. Miss Yaoyorozu smiled at him, sweaty. I already told you, darling, you can call me Mika. Or Mom, depending your relationship with Momo. She teased, and Izuku blushed lightly, and the other laughed in his mind. I think we will stay with Mika. Don't you have to go to job? Izuku asked, and Mika nodded. In an hour or so. But enough about me. Tell me, how's the look for university? She asked, and Izuku sighed. It can always go better. Many don't accept someone that didn't finish his last year of school, he said, and Mika nodded. Well, if you wish, I can get you a spot in my company. It wouldn't be anything of another world, but it wouldn't be sweeping the floor. So, what do you say? She offered, and Izuku shook his head. Thanks, but we will reject your offer. I will continue looking for some university that accept me. Izuku said politely, and Mika nodded. Well, the offer is still there. Now, I better get ready to work. Have a nice day, Izuku, she said as she stood up and left him alone in the couch. Izuku stayed there for a while until the others started to complain he was bored. Izuku agreed with it and decided to go out to see what was going across the city. It was early, so there wasn't too much crime, and there was too much light to act. Maybe he could go see Momo? No. Why? Izuku asked, landing on a rooftop. Are we really going to risk going to Ua, where heroes are? Guess you are right. He sat on the edge and looked at the city. From here, he had a good look for Ua inside. You know what? Fuck it. What? Wait, don't. The other screamed in his head as he jumped from the building and threw a web and swing into the direction of Ua. This is a bad idea. Everything is a bad idea for you unless it is what you want, Izuku said with a smile, and the other grumbled. Once they were arriving, their senses flared up. They landed on top of where they felt the danger, and it was the 𝐒𝐻 building. What's going on here? The symbiote covered his body as he crawled into the building. He looked in and saw why his senses flared up. An attack. He looked into the scene. Hordes and hordes of villains walking towards a group of students, in which Momo is in. At least we will take something from this, the other said, excited on the prospect of a fight. But Izuku knew better. If he jumps in the middle of all these villains, he would lose. Especially that big, purple one with its brain in the air. He seems the stronger. And if he jumps in middle of the students, it would be a similar outcome. He is a vigilante, ergo, an enemy of them. Even if Momo tries to stop them, there would be little help. For his luck, he saw how a mist villain that he recognized as the bartender of the League of Villains appeared, and after taking an attack that did apparently nothing to him, the students were trapped and seemingly transported at different parts of the area. He followed Momo's trail and saw that she was in the mountain zone alongside a blonde kid and a purple-haired girl with earphone jacks coming from her ears. He landed on top of a mountain watching how they fended themselves. Once he saw that one was close to hit Momo, he decided to intervene. He threw a web, grabbing the weapon and taking it off the villain's hands, and landed on the wall, where he stuck himself there as the villains noticed who it was. It's the spider. No one told me it was going to be here. Fuck this, I am leaving. And one by one, the villains retreated, making Venom chuckle. He landed in front of the three heroes in training. The blonde one and the purple-haired one got ready to fight him when Momo got in front of them. Relax, he is a friend, she said, and their eyes widened. Friend? With the black spider? The blonde one asked, making Venom frown. You can't be serious. The purple-haired one said, and Momo chuckled. It's complicated, but we are, she said, and turned to him. You came to help us fight. We only came for you. The rest can go to hell for all we care, Venom said, and Momo frowned. That isn't very nice. Venom chuckled. We are not very nice. Why he speaks in we? The blonde asked, just for the purple-haired hit him in the ribs. Can you help us, please? Momo pleaded, and the internal debate in Venom's head started. We should. No, we shouldn't. Don't you remember what they warned about us interfering? It is my body. My choice. Fine. Do whatever you want, Venom growled as he turned around. Go back to the entrance. We will take care of them. Momo smiled at him. Thank you, Venom. Venom nodded as he threw a web and went towards the plaza to see what he could do. What just happened? Denki asked, and Jiru sighed. Momo sure have weird friends. Central Plaza *. You're so cool. Eraser. Tamura said as he turned his head to watch Eraserhead with one eye open, nullifying his quirk. Namu. The Namu slammed the head of the pro hero against the ground, taking him out of the combat, and Tamura giggled at the horrified faces of Tsuyu Asui and Mainta Minoru. Tamura was going to disintegrate Tsuyu's face when a black web caught his arm, threw him stumbling back away from the student. He glared at his attacker that landed behind the Namu. You? Venom chuckled. Miss us. Tamura glared at him before grinning. Namu. Kill them. The Namu quickly turned around and tried to hit Venom that blocked the punch with his both hands, before doing a backflip to make some distance. Venom laughed. That's all that the anti-all might have. Ha, don't make us laugh. Venom mocked, and the Namu didn't answer. It just went towards Venom and tried to punch him again. Venom only dodged and blocked and punched the 𝗓𝗄 a couple of times, too little to no effect. The 𝗓𝗄 went to trap him in a bear hug, and Venom jumped backwards, landed with his hands, and pushed himself up to wrap his legs around the 𝗓𝗄's head. Venom was sat on front of the 𝗓𝗄's head and started to scratch and punch the 𝗓𝗄. When he noticed that it was doing nothing, he decided to plan B. He leaned down to bite 𝗓𝗄's unprotected brain and took a big bite out of it. Venom chuckled, "It tastes rotten." For their surprise, the 𝗓𝗄 head started to regenerate and Venom felt danger. Before he could react, the 𝗓𝗄 grabbed him by the hips and powerbomb wrestling move, powerbomb him to the ground, making it crack. Venom recoiled from the impact as the 𝗓𝗄 did it other 5 times before throwing him with strength to a wall. Venom crashed hard against it, making it crack, and he fell. 𝗓𝗵𝗲 laughed as Venom stood up. "What you think now? Want to join the winning side?" Venom growled at him. He opened his mouth and stick his tongue out that seemed to infuriate 𝗓𝗵𝗲. He was going to attack again when the doors were blasted open, and from the smoke, All Might walked in. "Do not fret. Why? Because I am here." The students celebrated because they knew they were saved. Venom wasn't sure what to think, while 𝗓𝗵𝗲 simply grinned in joy. It was time to finish these 2 pests.